Hey, thanks for joining me on day 4 of our journey through the Bible. And you may be saying, wait a second, did I make a wrong turn at Albuquerque? How in the world did we go from Genesis 11 to Job chapter 1? That doesn't make sense. In fact, Job comes nearly 20 books later in my Bible. But remember, we're doing a chronological order, and it's one of the coolest things, the things I love the most about this approach is, with all the way the Bible's organized, kind of groups, we don't see always how the actual order of things happen. And most scholars agree that Job took place between the Tower of Babel that we read about in Genesis 11, and right at the end of Genesis 12, we're introduced to Abraham, or Abram, as he's known at that time. And most scholars believe that Job took place in that time, very early, and that our Bible's organized more thematically. And so you'll have the 5 books of Moses, or the 5 scrolls, the Torah, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And then you'll have consecutively in order Joshua, and then the time of the judges, and then the time of the kings. And it's in the time of the kings that the wisdom literature is written. It's in the time of the kings that all of the prophets take place, and all those things are placed after them in the typical order of our Bible. So there's just a little, okay, here's where we are in the map. Here's some of the things that really impressed me about Job, and I think they'll be helpful to you. Job is very early in history, very early in God revealing himself. And as people have come to know something about God, they wrestle with what God's revealed about himself and then sometimes filling in the gaps. And what we see in Job is Job and his wife and his so-called friends. They start off really good, and the further we read, the worse they get. They're really wrestling with who is God? And what is God like? And what does God do? And when you please God, what does he do? And when you don't please God, what does he do? And when bad things happen, what's the reason for that? And when good things happen, what's the reason for that? We even see Satan, the tempter himself, wrestling with that and saying, God, Job only honors you because you do certain things for him. You've protected him, and you've blessed him, and you've prospered him. And it brings me to one of the things that really stood out for me is at the end of Job 1, when Job has lost everything and almost everyone in his life, he says, the Lord gives and the Lord takes. Blessed be the name of the Lord. I want to encourage you to think about that. It's easy for me to talk about how blessed I am when things are going really well for me. And then when it's hard, I'm not aware of the blessings. But the truth is that God blesses us all the time. And so with that, I want to learn, I want to develop the practice, the recognition of remembering that the Lord is to be blessed. His name is to be blessed no matter what's going on in life, because God is still God. Thanks for joining me on this journey. If you're just starting, don't worry about it. Read maybe an extra chapter every day and you can catch up pretty quickly. And also, if this is blessing you, if this is encouraging you or helping you, I want to encourage you to share this on your social media. Share it with your friends. And then if you've got any questions, you can either submit those wherever you're getting it. If this is Instagram, you can send me a direct message. If you're on the Made for More or my personal Facebook page, there'll be a place for questions there, and I'll respond to some of those. And then every week, I'll publicly respond to, answer as many of the questions as I can get to. But I hope this has been a blessing to you. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day.